The African Development Bank's investment in Kenya now stands at USD 6.3 billion. That's about 738 billion Kenya shillings as of April 2022. Their investments are mainly in energy, transport sector, agriculture, health, education, water and sanitation, as well as in economic governance. Now, I recently sat down with the president, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, during his Kenyan visit to discuss concerns about rising debt levels caused by major infrastructure projects across the country and the pros and cons of public-private partnerships. Here is a snippet of that interview. Public-private partnerships, or PPPs, Dr. Adesina, have been cited as the silver bullet for African countries that really want to develop over the coming years. But critics have warned against opaque partnerships that these governments are getting into, and also hidden costs of PPPs. What's your reading of the situation as the African Development Bank?
Well, you know, PPPs are not the panacea for every single thing, but it's just like, you know, any doctor will tell you I can do maxillofacial surgery, but it doesn't mean that, you know, I can recreate every single thing, right? But the fact of the matter is that PPP actually does allow you to do things more efficiently, more transparently, and the government has a partner in being able to do that. But you have to be able to have the capacity to run public-private partnerships well. There are things you need at the upstream level. So on the legal, on the regulatory environment that must be around PPP, you have to be transparent at all times in everything that you do. Then in the midstream, in terms of how you actually you know, do the financial structuring for your PPP projects, and of course downstream how you actually deliver the capacity to actually deliver PPP transactions on the ground. So I think it's something that we will continue to build the capacity of countries, of delivery units within governments to understand what it is and what they need to do to make it work.
Kenyans are worried about increasing debt levels, with some economists even speaking of a country that's slowly finding its way into a debt trap. As a bank that sponsors major infrastructure projects in this country, does that concern you?
Well, I wouldn't use the word debt trap. I think we have a standard way of assessing debt situation with countries, with IMF and World Bank and us. We look at a number of countries that are in debt distress. So whether it's a low risk of debt distress or medium or high level of debt distress. And we have, you know, probably about 17 countries right now that are moderate to high levels of debt distress, but not because of them, because of the COVID-19 has created a big impact on many of these economies that they are now recovering. Look, you need about $428 billion to being able to actually deal with this particular issue. And even the debt issue, we have ways of